the reason why I started this whole thing was because I was sick and tired of me losing and gaining the same weight over and over and over again. And once I finally decided to invest in myself and learn the things that nobody else was teaching, because you're hearing stuff all the time, like on Facebook and ads on Google and now ChatGPT and all the AI stuff. You're hearing all of this stuff out there. Like, this is how you do it. This is how you lose weight. Or you should go carnivore. You should go keto. You should cardio yourself to death. You should do Orange Theory. You should do Zumba. You should do all these things. And it's like, let's quiet all of that crazy noise and have a systematized approach to actually what is right. Because you can go Google right now and you can find someone saying that this is a right thing. And then that same very thing, someone else says this is a wrong thing. And you can find examples of why both of those might be true. Anybody ever felt really confused when it comes to trying to just lose body fat? Like, what is the right methodology? Anybody have felt really confused about that? So let me know. You can type a 1 in the chat just so I know we're in the right place. Yeah, got some ones. Really confused. So we're going to silence all of that in the next several weeks. This is the goal. But tonight, I'm going to give you something that you probably came looking for one thing, and I'm going to give you something totally different because it's the thing that nobody talks about. Okay. Now, from a believer standpoint, now, if you're not a believer, you're still welcome here, 100%. But from a biblical standpoint, we have this beautiful concept in scripture called renewing the mind. Okay. It's this beautiful concept because the believers of the time, like, they needed, when they came to know Jesus, he told them, like, you need to change your mind, which is where we get this wonderful cuss word in the Christian ecosystem called repentance. Anybody ever heard the word repent before? Yeah. Well, the word repent, it's like this Greek word that means to change your mind, because the way that you were thinking has to shift now. So when you are approached with brand new knowledge on a subject, to those that know to do good and does it not, to them, you're missing the mark. Like, if you decide after all of this stuff that I teach you today and through the next several weeks, if you decide to not go with this and to continue down the path that you've been going down for the last decade, 2 decades, or however long you've been doing it, to you, you're just going to continue missing the mark. And the reason why I know that is because I've coached over 100 clients and I've also been through it myself. And I've been approached with the right information, but then thought, no, you know what? That's not as sexy as I want it to sound. It's not as cool as I want it to sound. It maybe isn't as hard as I want it to be. And so I chose to go my own route. So you have the opportunity to either choose this route, which I'm going to make it so freaking easy for you. Even a caveman could do it. Anybody remember that commercial? I'm going to make it so easy that you can apply this. But the concept that I'm giving you tonight is one that you need to take, okay? And you need to apply this, because if you do this, everything else becomes easy. If you don't do this, everything else, your mind is going to fight you tooth and nail on everything else that I teach you, okay? So tonight, it's all the starting line, the basis of it all is simply renewing your mind. You have to change the way that you think about nutrition. You have to change this one concept. Has anybody ever said this before? Well, that worked in the past. Well, blank worked in the past. Or this used to work for me. Has anybody ever said that before? Y'all can keep them ones if you want. If that's easier for you, you can keep them ones. And if you're driving, you're okay. Or you can hit emojis or whatever. I like a captive audience that shouts back at me. Thank you, Caitlin, up in there. Appreciate you. But we've all said this before. Well, this worked for me in the past. I lost 10 pounds with this. I lost 20 pounds with keto. I lost 30 pounds with Orange Theory. I lost this with this. Like, I've tried all these things. You have to erase it. You know where the past is? It's in the past. Like, you can't go back there, right? So you have to change your mind and stop reminiscing over the nostalgia. I just got off a call with one of our clients earlier. Actually, she just signed up today. She's on the call. Is she still here? I'm looking at names. I think she's called Zoom user. That's her new name. But we were talking about this, that the rearview mirror is smaller than the windshield for a reason. Like when you're driving a car, if you stare at the rearview mirror of your past, you're gonna wreck. Like you're gonna fall off in a ditch and you're gonna crash. So you have to like shift your mindset of I'm gonna move forward. Hey, you used to be an athlete. Great, fantastic. We celebrate that part of your life. That was wonderful, but you're not an athlete anymore unless you want to choose to be, right? You have another something in front of you that you want to choose to move forward towards, whatever those goals are. You have to start where you are, not where you used to be. Okay. As an example, I used to be a former power lifter. Like, I can't lift the same weight that I used to lift. If I went and got under the bar trying to lift 525 pounds, trying to squat 525, I would injure myself. I'm not conditioned to be a power lifter anymore. And for me to start that process would be me starting where I am now. And I would sabotage my progress in the process if I decided that I wanted to be who I used to be or try to lift like I used to lift. I have to start where I am now and then build back up to that using a different methodology and new frameworks. So we have to change the way that we think about the way that we're going forward, because the things that worked for you in the past, they may not work for you again. And you have to be okay with that. And also, the things that you did in the past, they all did one thing. I want to give you just, I'm going to really pull back the curtain on all the marketing and all the other things that's being shoved down your throat in the industry. Every single diet does one thing. Can anybody guess what that one thing is? If it's keto, carnivore, Optavia, Nutrisystem, Orange Theory, all of Beachbody, they all do one thing. What do they do? Sydney says keeps you in a cycle. Well, you're not wrong there. That's not what I was looking for, but that's a great answer. What do they all do? Does anybody know? They all do one thing. GLP-1s do one thing. Fasting does one thing. Intermittent fasting does one thing. They all do the exact same thing. They put you in a calorie deficit. There we go. Caitlin's coming in clutch. Come on. This is my tribe. These are my people. Caitlin's coming in clutch. They all do one thing. They put you in a calorie deficit. And so what you have is people with an unrenewed mindset, people that are stuck, they become zealots of the thing that they saw progress with. This is where we get like keto zealots, where they only live keto. I can't have carbs. They're scared of carbs. Like if they looked at the carb, you would think that the carb had a knife and like a gun and was going to try to murder them or something. Like that's the way that these people act. Like I can't have that. That's so wrong. Like carbs, this is like renewing the mind, right? Carbs are not bad. So if you came on this call today and you were thinking that carbs are bad and I have to stay away from bread, I have to stay away from rice and pasta and all that. I know we got some Italians on here. So like all you Italian people out there with your pastas and all the things, like you can actually have pasta. You can actually have carbs. Carbs are good. So if you came on this call thinking carbs were bad, I want you to renew your mind by settling that in, typing in the chat, carbs are good for me. Anybody ever seen that video? Bacon is good for me. That little Southern kid. Well, let's shift it. Carbs are good for me. I need carbs. Sydney needs carbs right now. So I'm pulling back this curtain for you because like functional nutrition coaches like myself, we see all of these methodologies like keto and carnivore and intermittent fasting and even fasting in general. We see those as tools in a tool belt to pull out, not for a deficit, not for fat loss, but for functional purposes. That's what they are. They are tools. So I would use like a keto diet for someone who maybe is dealing with insulin resistance, right? Maybe they're pre-diabetic or diabetic and they're really struggling in that type 2 world. And we're trying to pull down insulin. We're trying to pull down and create better blood sugar regulation. We might pull in some keto. I might even partner keto with some fasting, right? Especially even with my ladies who might be dealing with some PCOS and some of those symptoms. I will pull those out of the tool belt and utilize those in very specific cases, not specifically for fat loss, but to fix a functional issue that's happening inside of the body metabolically. Okay, so give me a good Presbyterian nod if you are with me. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Cool. So that's pulling back the curtain. So all of these people shouting at you and posting, and you see all these ads and all these things on all the socials everywhere, all these people shouting, all these methodologies, they're a means to an end that keeps you in a rat race because they aren't showing you the full picture. They're showing you one small piece of the picture, and that's not the whole story, right? We need the whole story. Okay. So, yes, can you lose weight with these things? 100%. But I guarantee you, every single person on this call has tried some sort of methodology and has gained all the weight back because you did not know the whole picture. Right. So inside of our program, we've used certain of these tools out of the tool belt. I've used keto with clients. I've got a couple on that right now. I've used that with certain clients, but for very specific reasons. I've used fasting for very specific reasons, usually for more autophageal work, like cellular repair and growth, like those types of things. Very specific reasons for from a functional standpoint that eventually, if we fix the body and the body's working appropriately, then fat loss becomes effortless or almost effortless. I mean, it's going to take some effort, okay? But it's a lot less effort than it takes if you're like trying to push a boulder uphill. So, what I wanted to kind of give you tonight is what nobody says. You have to forget all those things. And I said this earlier on a coaching call, but we have to forget those things which are behind and press forward, right? Forget the stuff. Yes, you tried stuff in the past, and yes, it quote unquote worked. But I always ask this question: if it worked, wouldn't you have kept the weight off? Because my definition of something working is that you actually see the result forever. If you can take the same thing and do it over and over again and continue getting the result, that's something that works. But if you do something one time and then try it again another time and then try it again another time, for one, why are you having to go back and keep doing it over and over again? And then number two, if it's not working like it used to, then the methodology that you're using is not appropriate. Now, let me know real quick, just doing a temperature check. Okay. Are we having some light bulbs go off in our heads here? A little bit? I feel like Caitlin maybe was already with me. I don't know. She seems like she showed up and she's like ready. Got some light bulbs going off. Awesome. So if you want to see success, okay, I'm going to leave you on a big cliffhanger at the end of this. If you want to see true success in your weight loss, it has to start with you saying everything that I've been doing past, there may have been some truth to it, but it wasn't the full story. But I need to nail down some very specific basics. And if you do the very specific basics, you will see results. Like there is a guarantee on it, 100%, because it is backed like totally by science through and through, over and over again. Every athlete does it. Every celebrity does it. Every person who's in sports does it. Every person that has the physique that you want and you dream about, they all do it. They just don't talk about it because it's not their thing. Does that make sense? Like your favorite sports person doesn't talk about when they cut weight to do whatever they do. Like if you ever watch like High Rocks or like a CrossFit or a bodybuilding thing or whatever, any type of sports thing, they don't talk about what they do. Why? Because they're busy doing their thing. But they have coaches that coach them on getting to their thing, right? But this is the stuff that they all do. How do I know this? Because I've spent money investing in the education side of it to understand the concepts that everybody's actually doing. And then what I've learned over the years, I was talking to somebody yesterday, someone, I can't remember. I was on a Zoom call, as a coaching call with one of our clients, but I was talking to someone about marketing. This is what marketing is. Marketing is I pick one thing and I go all in on that thing and I only talk about that thing and I talk about it so much that it makes you question what in the world you're doing in your life. And so you eventually come in and you buy the thing. That's marketing, right? I know who it was. It was one of my clients. We were talking about a supplement. We're talking about collagen, right? Anybody ever seen collagen stuff popping up everywhere, like collagen peptides and like all that? She was like, which brand of collagen? Because there's one brand of collagen that says it works for hair, skin, and nails. There's another brand of collagen that's for this. There's another brand of collagen that's for this. And I was like, oh, well, here's what it is. It's just marketing because you have collagen products and they all have the same collagen in it, but they have to market differently to differentiate themselves from the other one to make you buy theirs. Does that make sense? Like you should be this should be blowing your mind. Like that's all it is. Like if I have two collagen products in front of you, which one do I pick? Well, which one speaks to you the most and what's going to speak to you. Is it the one that's hair, skin, and nails, or is it the one for like strong bones? So they'll put that on the front of the label of who they're marketing to so that they can sell the products. But it's this, if you look on the back of the label, it has the same 13 or 15 peptides in it. It's the exact same thing, just two different companies marketing to you, right? Every fat loss supplement now says, if you go to a Walmart, a whatever, they say GLP-1 on it. How many have seen GLP-1 on all these supplements on the counter, over the counter? Yeah. Do you know what they have in them? I'm like gonna just, like, if they were on this Zoom call, all these people would be so mad at me. But they all have one thing in it: berberine. They have berberine in it. And because they have berberine in it, like, it's the same product that 5 years ago they had a different label, same exact thing, but now that GLP-1s have popped off, now they just put GLP-1 on it because it helps with insulin, and it does, like, berberine can help with GLP-1 production inside of the body naturally. So now they just put GLP-1 on it because everybody wants a GLP-1. So now they sell more product, but it's the same thing. Back a decade ago, over 10, 20 years ago, every fat loss product had one ingredient in it for it to be considered a fat loss or a thermogenic, a fat burner. Anybody remember seeing those on the shelves where it said fat burner? They all had one ingredient: niacin. They had the same exact ingredient, other proprietary blends, but the main ingredient for them to be able to put on the front of the label fat burner was niacin. Why niacin? Because niacin raises your body's internal temperature. So they can say it's a fat burner because it raises your internal body temperature to a certain level. So it's all marketing. All of it is marketing. You've got Optavia. What are they marketing? I hacked it. Like, has anybody ever tried Optavia here? I haven't, like, crapped on them in a long time, but I'm feeling a soapbox coming on, so I'll crap on them. Susanna's like, I hated that. Yeah, yeah. So Optavia, I will blow their whole program. Like, they make you spend about $500 a month for a box of bars and shakes that taste like cardboard. There's not one person I've ever talked to that said, I just love these. There's not one person. But if you wanted their program, all you've got to do is go to a Costco or a Sam's and buy your favorite protein bar and your favorite protein shake and just eat that all day for 2 to 3 meals. And then at nighttime, eat one lean meat source and some vegetables. And that's their whole program. Tell me I'm wrong, right? Like, come on. And they sell people on this stuff when at the end of the day, all they did was meal replace you with protein and their own products and all their stuff, and they upsold it times 10 or 20 when you could have done the same thing, which at the end of the day, all it does is it puts you in a deficit. That's it. And their coaches aren't even certified. They're just people inside of their program. Like, they have no nutritional backing whatsoever. It's someone who came in their program, they lost weight, and then they joined the MLM, and now they sell the product. It's changing the minds, right? Shifting our perspective on things. Because what I'm going to teach you is the bare brass tacks starting line of exactly what you need, that you don't have to go to ChatGPT anymore. You don't have to go to Google. You don't have to go to your favorite AI, whatever it is, or go check out an influencer or anything else. I'm going to teach you exactly what you do. And by the time you're done following along, you will have the plan to lose at least 10 to 20 pounds if you do it. But that's your choice. But if you want to be stuck, keep thinking these lies in your mind of, well, this worked for me. Okay, well, if it worked for you, you probably wouldn't be here. I'm just being honest. This worked for me. Okay, great. Glad that worked for you 20 years ago when you were 20 years younger and life wasn't where it is now, right? Glad that worked for you before you had insomnia, before you had kids, before you tried Orange Theory, and before you did all the Beachbody stuff, and before you fasted and like all these things, before all of that. I'm glad it worked for you. That's great. But what about now? What's your life look like now? How's your insulin levels? How's your blood sugar levels? What's your lab panels look like now? Right? We got to shift the mindset and then move forward. And if you do that, you will lose weight, period. And that's my promise to you. So I'm only going to give you 100% value in this. So that's it. I'm stopping there. So that's all I got. I told you this is not what you probably expected on the first call, but this is the most important thing because if you can shift your mindset, you will see success. Whoa, you will see success. But if you don't shift your mindset, then I hate to say it and it breaks my heart, but you'll stay stuck and you'll keep doing the same thing you've been doing and you'll lose and gain the same 10 pounds every single year. And then you'll add on another 5, 10 every single year. This is what's happened over and over again. And I know that because I've talked to like thousands of people at this point, and it's the same story every single time. And so we don't want that to happen to you. So I'm going to be real. The past is in the past. Where you are right now, I want you to give 1000% grace to yourself. It's okay. Where you are right now. You have to love yourself where you are right now. You don't hate yourself. You don't look down on yourself. You don't feel bad for yourself and you don't feel sorry for yourself. You love yourself right where you are. You need to start by looking in the mirror and saying, I love who I am. And because I love who I am, I'm going to focus on my health the right way. This is not a time for you to beat up on yourself. This is a time for you to love yourself. And then from there, it's progress over perfection. This is not a place where you have to get it done. And if you, in the old Weight Watchers days, when you came to the little club or whatever, and like everybody went around the room and talked about how much they lost, and then they got to you and they didn't say, and you couldn't say anything, and then you felt bad. This is not that type of thing. There are wins every single week. Even if you didn't lose, what are the wins? Did you stick to your meal plan? Were you kind to yourself? Did you journal this week? Did you take some time? Did you do something fun for yourself this week? Did you give yourself any intention? What are the wins? Because it's not always about the scale, okay? The scale is not the end all be all metric for success. It's not. I've got so many side by side clients. Actually, some of y'all who saw the slideshow coming in, some of those clients weigh exactly the same, but they look entirely different because it's not always about the scale, but it is about progress. Are you making progress? Are you moving forward? Is there recompositioning happen? Is your mindset changing? Are you more kind to yourself than you used to be? Do you have more energy than you used to have? Are you sleeping better? Is your brain is the brain fog gone? Like are these things like what are the positive things? Because where the mind goes, energy flows, right? So if we have a false negative mindset, then guess what? Everything's going to be woe is me and we're going to have a violin every time you speak, right? But we don't want a violin. We don't want to play the world's smallest violin for you. We want to clash some cymbals and be like, yes, right? Okay. What I'll do right now, I'm going to open up for questions. Okay. This is your moment, basically free coaching moment. Any questions for me right now? This is your chance.